Hello humans and fellow medical students. Um, this video I'll be talking about saving your own lives as medical students in one batch. I am a medical student and me and the students at my college have came up with many ideas that help us help each other out in a way that saves time and effort and just helps everyone. And I thought that this would be worthy sharing with YouTube. No need to subscribe or like or comment or share because this is not a legit YouTube channel. I, I just wanted to share these tips with you. Now, I'm not sure about how the system works for other medical schools around the world. I will be briefly explaining how does our system work, and then I'm going to share the tips or the things that we have used that made the batches' lives much better, and then I will share examples. And maybe you can incorporate these into your own colleges or into your own communities. So in my case, in my college, after graduating high school, we enroll into med school. First of all, we have 3 years of preclinical years of basic sciences, and then we have 2 years of clinical years, like rotations, hospitals, and stuff. Currently, I am at the end of my 3rd year. Right now, I'm preparing for my step 1 exam and exams like the IFOM or like these things before we get into the clinical years. So I've noticed that the things that me and my people at my college found out about are very helpful, and I didn't hear of them anywhere else. So let's get into it. I noticed something as being a preclinical student that for every single concept that I need to cover in med school, I need to do so many things, and it's all super time consuming. Like I need to watch whatever available relevant videos are on this particular topic, whether it's pathoma, boards and beyond, sketchy, YouTube videos, so many things. And then I need to attend the lecture and I need to write notes after the professor because some professors like to bring questions from their own explanation. So I need to listen to the record or to write notes in the class. And then I need to study the slides that the doctor has posted or the references that the doctor likes, which is like whatever book or reference that the doctor prefers. And then I need to create my own summary of the important things because I cannot visit the entire slides or all the notes the night before the final. I need to create a short summary of that. And then I need to find question banks to solve so that I can practice what I learned. And then I need to do cards. I don't know if you use Anki, but for me, I use Anki. It's pretty common in medical school. You can look it up and know more about it. So I need to do my own cards that is based on all these things so that I won't forget stuff. And then I still have other side life things like any other regular college student. I have my activities, my extracurriculars, things like working on your research or publish things. And lastly, in many medical schools, there is this competition mindset, whether it's implemented by the university or whether it's a thing that is like just there between students and everyone wants to excel and stuff. So all of that is very stressful. It leaves no time for you to even like almost exist. So it's very difficult. So what we did, me and the batch, we have found a way to do a minimal extra effort and at the meantime get all of that ready for you. So for example, I can have all these available for me without having to look for them. I can have the notes readily written for me, even if I didn't attend the lecture. I can have, yeah, studying the slides, okay, no one can do that for me. I can have summaries already neatly written for me without me having to do them. I can already find questions that are picked for this particular concept. I can find someone who already made me all the cards and all that with doing minimal effort. So how is that? So usually when people love to help, they send things on Google Drives or Telegram channels or WhatsApp groups. Like if some random students in the batch made a summary for a particular lecture, they just share it with people in WhatsApp groups. But again, over time, these useful things, they get lost because chats or like you need to scroll up or people don't know about it and stuff. Or like when you are about to study this particular lecture, you might have not known that there's another student in the batch who already made a summary for this lecture, blah, blah, blah. So all of this is again confusing and like everything is just a mess. So the idea is making collaborative groups. What does that mean? So let's say that there are 100 students in the batch, okay? My batch, it has around 130 students. Some other batches, they have 160, 200, okay? So what we do is that we do mini groups. And by dividing the work on the entire batch, eventually, if you are a member of these groups, you will do minimal contribution. And on the other hand, you're going to have everything that is ready for you. For example, let's say a bunch of 10 students in the batch, which is 10% of the batch has 100 students. If 10% of the students in the batch decided to make a group that they write class notes, okay? So let's say in a given week X, you take 10 different lectures, okay? And there are 10 students in this group. So each student would have to listen to the record and write notes for one lecture only. Meanwhile, the remaining 9 students in the group are going to write notes for the remaining 9 lectures, okay? And then eventually, the notes are going to be sent to the entire batch. So this means that as a contributor, you are one person, you had to pay effort to do only one lecture. You just listen to the record, you wrote the notes, and you are getting all the other lectures ready for you without having to spend effort. That's minimal effort and such very high yield, smart idea to do. Because eventually these notes are being sent to all the other 90 students in the batch. Meanwhile, other different students, they do the same idea, but for summaries. People who are skilled in writing summaries that are neat and easy to follow. Other 10 students focus on doing Anki cards and then sending it to the entire batch. Other 10 students focus on choosing Q banks, particular questions from popular resources to practice this particular concept. Eventually, as one person in the batch, whether you contributed or not, it's minimal effort and you're having everything that is readily done for you. So for each concept that you guys have studied, you have the Q banks picked for you already. You have the cards already made for you, even if it's about non high yield topics or low yield topics that are required for your academic curriculum and they are not found there in popular step one resources like Anking or Zanki or whatever. You have a summary already made for you. You don't have to spend time on that. Everything is ready for you. And if you are going to be one of the contributors, you really need to do one thing for one lecture once a week, once every 7 days, and have everything else ready for you. So this is life-saving. But the issue is, imagine that you have all these beautiful resources for each and every single lecture. They're gonna get lost again. So the idea here is creating a Google Sheet. So this is the Google Sheet of my current year. I said I'm at the end of year 3, so it says Y3 is 2, year 3 semester 2. So for example, we are currently taking a unit that is called what's musculo? I mean multi-system unit, okay? So we're taking this lecture and then this lecture and then this lecture and then this lecture, you know, that all happened in week 1, and then in week 2 we took these lectures, and then in week 3 we took these lectures. So for any given, so for any given lecture, everything is found in the corresponding row. So for example, let me choose a very random lecture that we have taken. So this is, let's take one with abundant resources. Okay, let's take this one. The pharmacological treatment of diabetes mellitus, okay? So this is a particular row. It's a lecture of pharmacology lecture given to us by our doctor who's called Dr. Maha in week 6, the diabetes week, okay? The notes behind the doctor are already available here, so I can, like, if I want to study this and I want to know what did the doctor say in the class, I can simply just go in here, start studying the slides, and I can find the notes in the notes section already, everything that the doctor said without me having to actually re-attend the recording or revisit it. Everything is already there, okay? That's some random person in the batch who wrote notes for it and sent it to everyone, okay? We go again. This is the record. Okay, fine. If anyone recorded the class, it's COVID-19, so it's COVID now, so everything is available as videos. Usually, pre-COVID, it was audio recordings. There are the slides. I can access them without notes very quickly, just a click. And then there are the summaries we have over here. So there are many summaries for one lecture. Some of them are from previous batches, from previous years. For example, this is a summary from 2019, from a student who was in year 3 2 years ago. So we still have their work on a Google Drive. Okay, whatever. Yeah. There is this summary that is 2021 summary. Someone from the current year made a summary on the current slides. And there are like different types of summaries, depends on each person and what they do and what's their preference. And then there are the Q banks over here. So these are questions that are very particular to pharmacotherapy of diabetes. If I want to practice this, it's very easy for me. I just go in here and start solving, and the answer is here. And it mentions what book was chosen. Like this is a Kaizen question about diabetes, you know? Now what's cool about this is you guys know that Usually, you need to have finished studying the entire unit or the entire chapter before being able to study the Q banks of that particular chapter, no matter what that book is. For example, in Katzing and Trevor's pharmacology examination and board review, these are usually chapter questions, and usually they are very general or are corresponding to a particular chapter, like a chapter about endocrinology or gastroenterology meds or whatever. But in this case, these are hand-picked that they are very particular or very relevant to diabetes, which is why it's great. And the way that QBank groups do this is by, again, it's a group, 10 students, 10 lectures. If each student spends an effort to find the particular questions relevant for this particular lecture, then that's it. The job is done. Like, it might be a little bit of an extra effort, but that person in return is getting summaries and cards and everything else done for them for every single other lecture. Anyways, these are the recommendations. So if there are any student in the batch who found a useful Sketchy Barm video or Pixarize or Boards and Beyond or a YouTube video or whatever it is, they can link it here. And yeah, basically, notes if there is anything that the doctor mentioned that someone said on the WhatsApp group and it got lost. So basically, you have everything here in one place. And to make everything much better, there is the index. So this is our semester in a nutshell. We studied 10 weeks. This is the title of each week. I don't know about your system. Again, this is our system. So week 1, we studied about sexual transmitted diseases. In week 7, we studied about vasculitis and so on and so forth. And this is the lecture of this is the list of the lectures we took in that week. So we only took 4 lectures in week 8. We took 10 lectures in week 4. And each lecture has its own code. For example, this is 4.6.27. What does that mean? 4 is week 4. 6 is the 6th lecture in week 4. And 27 means it's the 27th lecture in the entire semester. Which means we have taken 70 lectures in this unit. This was the 5th lecture in week 10, and so on and so forth. So this is for my current year 3, semester 2, okay? So each batch, like there are currently in my college, there are year 2 students, there are year 1 students, so each batch have their own sheet. So for example, year 2, semester 2. Currently I'm in year 3, semester 2. I have friends who are 1 year younger than me, they are in year 2, semester 2. So again, they're currently studying the gastrointestinal and the renal systems. So they have the same system over here. Everyone can contribute. They have their own coding. And here's their renal system lectures as well. And this is the notes group work of their batch, the records from their batch. So each batch has its own groups contributing and helping everyone out. And then whenever you want to study any lecture, you have everything ready all in one place to make life much easier. One last thing I wanted to mention is usually the editors of these sheets are only 1 or 2 people in the batch, and commenting access is open to everyone. So for example, if I am to open this sheet in a new incognito window and I am not logged in, I don't have the authority to edit anything, but I have the authority to comment, okay? So for example, let's say for this particular lecture, I found an interesting YouTube video, okay? So I can simply click on comment, ignore the Arabic text because it's an incognito window. So hey guys, I found this cool YouTube video that explains this lecture very beautifully or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then like youtube.com or whatever it is. And then I can click on comment and there we go. Then the people who are responsible for the sheet, which are usually 1 or 2 people from the batch, they see the comment, they add the specific recommendation into this list, and life is good. I'm not gonna comment on that so that I won't confuse my friends. So yeah, basically, I can get into, I tried my best to explain all of that briefly in no time, because I don't want this to take so much time. If this video gets views or lots of comments, if you want to know more details on how to do these things, I think you can comment, and I don't know, maybe in the future I'm going to do another video. I don't know, this was like very random. I'm not a YouTuber or anything. I just hope that this was useful, and I hope that you guys will be able to implement this in your batches, because medical school is already extremely difficult. Sorry for taking long. It's been 14 minutes, and thank you for listening, and I hope wish the best of luck for you guys. Bye bye.